So we are a sixth generation family farm on the eastern shore of Maryland, and we can trace the lineage of who came over. So that was my great-great-grandfather, Ephraim, and it was about the 1700s, and we believe he landed somewhere on the Delmarva Peninsula down near Virginia, and then came up, founded the homestead that we're on currently in Wicomico County, cleared most of the land by hand, and then it went from Ephraim to his son Sylvester, and then from Sylvester to Randolph to Franklin, and then from Franklin to Robert, and then myself, and maybe my son one day. But you know, it's crazy to look back at that whole history and the ebbs and flows, because there's times in a farm family when it's almost impossible to survive on that sort of thing. And fortunately, we were able to sort of grab hold of the old traditions from my ancestors, more or less, and bring back what was in the field during their time. So you're looking at peppers, you're looking at tomatoes, you're looking at sweet potatoes, all kinds of different things that are more of consumer friendly nowadays, as opposed to corn and soybeans that are then going to go get processed. So we're really happy about that, because that enables us to work locally with the chefs, with the restaurants, the local retailers, the grocery stores, the distributors, and because they're all interested. It's back to that farm to table movement. We really try to brand ourselves as a Maryland family farm. So we mix our cherry tomato colors in what we call the Maryland mix, which is colors of the Maryland state flag. And then we use that on all of our branding and marketing material. So when you go into Whole Foods, or you go into Giant, Cisco, Safeway, wherever, you'll see the branding on there, and it's got the Maryland flag, and it says grown in Salisbury, Maryland, and it's all the colors of the Maryland flag. And that's one of the things that we found people want to connect to the local farmer. Consumers want to know where the product's coming from, and if they see the flag, they instantaneously know it's not shipped halfway across the U.S. or worse. Or is just looking at the different sets, because that tells you what the next 3, 4, 5 weeks are going to look like. So this is what was harvested this week, and it's still being harvested. This is next week right here, and then this is 2 weeks out, 3 weeks out, and 4 weeks out are the blossoms. So you always want to look for the blossoms up top. So the bees are doing their job pollinating, the wind's doing its job by pollinating. So I know that we got good tomatoes going at least 4 or 5 weeks out from here. One of the new crops that we tried a couple years ago was the Maryland fish pepper. It was very interesting. There's an awesome history about how it originated on the eastern shore. It was brought over back in the 1700s, and before the days of Old Bay and things like that. They used to use it inside seafood stews for some spice and some flavor on seafood. So the seed almost went extinct, and it was brought back from the brink, and so we started growing a lot of it, and it's a very interesting crop. The leaves are variegated in color, green and white, and it's a little bit spicy though. So this is a hydroponic greenhouse. The initial 4 bays was built in 2011, and then we expanded and turned it into an 8-bay greenhouse in about 2013. So what you mainly see in this house is hydroponically grown in an NFT system, which is nutrient film technique. So all of the water is recycled. It's pushed from the front of the greenhouse to the back with a pump, and then it comes down these spaghetti tubes right here. And these tubes feed just the root system of the plant. And so in a perfect growing condition, which is usually in the spring and the fall, we can actually get the plant to turn around in about 5 weeks. So that's from seed to finished product. So in our half acre here, we can do about 24 acres worth of conventional produce on this inside this greenhouse right here. So one of the things about lettuce is it's a cool season crop. So in the summertime, especially on the eastern shore, it can get super hot in July and August. So 2 things we do: we put a shade cloth on top to try to eliminate how much sunlight's coming in, and thus reduce by about 5 to 10 degrees inside the greenhouse. And the second thing is this wet wall. So it's a recirculating wet wall, so the water just kind of trickles down, and all the air in the house is pulled forward. So you've got a lot of moisture that comes down, and we can reduce it by about 10 to 15 degrees with the wet wall as well. So it's really like an old school air conditioner. 2020 has presented some serious issues with the global pandemic, of course. So we've seen some of our outlets that would usually buy a lot of our produce, some have gone to zero and probably won't even come back. And I'm talking about some distributors that do institutional things and things like that. Outside of that, we've also tried to find these little areas of bright spots, so we try to connect back with our local community, because we offer a CSA now, a couple different sizes. We offer grab and go because nutrition is really important to overall health, of course. And so if people know they can come out to our farm and we offer a no-touch situation, then we're able to provide to the community. Restaurants have been, we feel for them every day. You know, they're open, they're closed, because we're all trying to work together through this. And it's just, you know, no one wanted 2020 to look the way it is. So you got to look for the bright spots. And, you know, obviously servicing the local community in such a manner that we really were active in saying, hey, here we are, we're local, you've heard of us, but come try our produce. And we're doing these boxes that we already set in motion. It's got hydroponic lettuce in it. It's got, this time of year, it's got tomatoes and peppers and squash and all kinds of things. The feedback's been amazing. So you kind of, in a bad year like this, you just look for the little bright spots wherever you can.